And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We have a great show for you today. As always, be sure to follow me on Twitter at Takes by Fans. Be a part of the conversation and come watch live daily, noon Eastern at twitch.tv/takesbyfans or at our website, takesbyfans.com. Go to the watch tab at the top of the home screen, click play, and whenever we are live on the website. So look at us go here. We are live. So come watch however you decide to watch. Just make sure you're watching and get your daily sports content. All right, so today is a Monday after a huge game of Sunday games with all NFL and NBA being played yesterday. So we got to get into all that. Mondays, we try to set ourselves up for the entire week. Let's get a quick kind of rundown of all the games that happened yesterday. And then as we progress through the week, we get to go a little deeper and deeper and deeper into the more interesting games and some of the narratives that are being brought up into the media throughout the week. So we get a nice little launching point on Mondays, quick run through of everything, and then we can go deeper into the week when we do our Wednesday film breakdowns, our Tuesday power rankings, getting us ready when we start talking about week 5 on Thursdays and Fridays. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, we like to go a little bit in depth into the week. So we'll start here on Monday, getting us a good in-depth or a good quick overview of all the games. So we can jump right into it. But before we jump right into it, there's one topic I do want to talk about. Not the website. Here it is. Tyler Herro's snarl that people are like complaining about. Why are we like raining on this man's parade? This man's like 20 and he's playing in the NBA Finals and he's starting and he's going against LeBron James and they just won a game. So let me show y'all what's going on here. The snarl that everybody's talking about. A lot of people are calling him lame for doing this. He snarled. And plus, this is in slow motion too, so it's a little longer than maybe what it actually was. So can we just stop hating on this man, trashing this man for a snarl? He's 20. Let this man live. I'd be doing the same thing. I would be doing the same thing. Oh, y'all said we couldn't win this game because we don't have 2 of our players? Oh, we're down 0-2? Oh, we're looking to be down 0-3? Oh, but we just beat y'all? Yeah, what's up? Yeah. I'd be snarling too. We just fucking won the finals game, y'all. Relax. I have no problem with the snarl. I'd be snarling every single game. After every single basket, I'd be snarling if I was doing that against a Lakers team, against a team that I'm down 0-2 against in the finals, in that people said that we literally had no chance. I said they had kind of no chance. I mean, we took the Lakers -9.5 last night. I mean, they had no beef down low. How'd they win? It was because Jimmy Butler mostly, but Tyler Herro's 17 points. Good contribution. So I've got no problem with the snarl. Let's stop calling this man trash and corny and all that. It's not trash or corny. This man's a competitor, and he just won a finals game. Let the man snarl. Let this man live. I'd be doing the same thing, y'all. I'd be snarling. My snarl would not look as good as this snarl. This is a pretty good snarl. I'll tell y'all. Look at that. That's pretty good. That's a good control of your lip. I don't think I could do that. I think like my entire mouth goes up. But he got that good top lip action of just a snarl. I'm about it. One of the best, top 10 best snarl. I think this is the best snarl I think I've ever seen, to be honest. It's clean, it's cut. He knows what he's doing. He's got control of that top lip, not bringing up his entire mouth. That's a great snarl. You show me a better snarl. I don't think you can. All right. Enough of Tyler Herro snarl. Now let's get into the actual gameplay, because if anybody really should have been snarling yesterday, it was Jimmy Butler, because the man went off for 40 points, 40 big ones. And, you know, at the start of the series, when we've been watching games 1 and 2, the Lakers were obviously, you know, winning all those games. Obviously, they were up 2-0. But what we loved from the Heat was Jimmy Butler's aggressiveness. We really didn't see that in that Bucks series or the Celtics series. It was just Jimmy Butler kind of getting, you know, 20s, mid-20s, low 20s, everybody competing, everybody contributing 1 through 5. But now that Bam Adebayo, Goran Dragic, 2 starters are not, Jimmy Butler knows those absent points that Bam Adebayo and Goran Dragic would normally put up have to come from somewhere, and Jimmy Butler says, I'll take over. I'll take responsibility. He did it game 1, game 2, getting up, a lot of points to leading scorer, doing what he does, being aggressive in the first quarter, driving to the basket, getting easy layups, getting dunks, getting good momentum shifting shots, getting good kind of bench momentum builders, because there is no fan, so you have to create your own momentum somehow. You have to, energize your bench, energize your team somehow, and Jimmy Butler is doing that as the leader of the squad, and it's truly fantastic to watch. Did it games 1 and 2, putting up those solid 25-point performances, and now he breaks out for 40 here in game 3. The reason why they won, the reason why they were competitive without 2 main key players. So absolutely love what Jimmy Butler is doing in the series. A true competitor, a true grinder, and a true just athlete. I love everything Jimmy Butler is doing, and he got a triple-double, 40 points, 11 rebounds, 13 assists for the man. Absolutely love it. Single-handedly why they won. I mean, nobody else was doing great. Nobody else, went for 25 plus. Nobody else went for 30. I mean, this was just Jimmy Butler going for 40, and everybody else kind of doing what they've already been doing, throughout this entire playoff series through the Eastern Conference. They're all just doing their part. They're doing their part, and Jimmy Butler went above and beyond as the leader, and I can definitely appreciate this. I loved every second of watching Jimmy Butler play last night, getting the win. He truly deserves it. He doesn't want to be counted out. Okay, we're going up against the Lakers. He's saying it doesn't matter. We're the Heat. We belong here. We just beat Giannis. Y'all said he's the MVP and Defensive Player of the Year, and we beat him easily. So you don't think we can be competitive against the Lakers? Yeah, we're missing 2 players, but baby, I'm the number 1 star here. I know, in Miami we can't talk about stars, but I'm the motherfucking star, baby. And I'm gonna drop 40 in a down 0-2 game. We're gonna get the win here. Very well done by Jimmy Butler. All right, so in the first quarter, it was just Lakers turning the ball over, but good thing about the Lakers, they were only down 2 with all those turnovers. I think they had about 10 in the first quarter. So Lakers only being down by 2, we can't make that an excuse. Oh, they lost because they had well, they were only still down by 2. So those turnovers, yeah, they sucked, but they were still in the game, still had this kind of early lead. We see the 1-point lead here, 8 minutes left in the second quarter. Rondo to Anthony Davis. I mean, we've seen this, y'all. That's what Rondo brings to this team, the floor facilitator, finding Anthony Davis. Now we've got a 1-point lead for the Lakers, but Jimmy Butler erases it, drives hard to the basket. Love it. Nice little mid-range pull-up. That's cashed out too. He scored for 40. Most of his shots are dropping, y'all. They've got a nice 5-point lead here midway through the second quarter. Anthony Davis here called with the offensive foul. Look at Kelly Olynyk. That's what Kelly Olynyk can bring to the table. He can kind of guard on the perimeter because he's not, too big and just has to stay home down low. Kelly Olynyk, in more offensive type center, can defend on the perimeter. He did that and kind of locked Anthony Davis up because he wasn't going down low. We get a nice 3 there by LeBron James to cut the deficit down to 2. But here we go. In the third quarter, Miami Heat back up 4. Duncan Robinson, big 3. That's kind of what we expect from him. A lot of 3s. He was doing it. Tyler Hero, yes sir, another 3. This isn't the snarl yet. He's building up that snarl. Just wait for it. Rondo high off the glass there. Look at this. To get it over Butler and Kelly Olynyk. Just kisses literally the top of it and just floats down in. All right, so Heat up 5 here to start the fourth quarter. LeBron James goes inside. Nice, easy bucket. Down 3 now. Here we go. LeBron down 3. Nice little kick out to Markieff Morris, and he drains it. Ties it at 89. 89 all. But then we get Rondo driving to the rim and able to get it off the glass once again over Duncan Robinson. Now, this is where the Heat or the Lakers fall apart. Lakers finally regain the lead in the fourth quarter. Heat take a timeout right now. They don't show this in the highlight, but Heat take a timeout right now. Try to get everything back going. Now, this is when it falls apart again for the Lakers. This is after the timeout. Jimmy Butler on LeBron James. LeBron James on Jimmy Butler. Let's watch this play. And I saw this live, and this truly, we'll just let it play, and I'll see if y'all saw what I saw. So here we go. Let's let this play run. Here we go. LeBron James on Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler's able to score on LeBron James, and did y'all see it? Did y'all see it? Let's run it back really quickly. Look at LeBron right here. I think I got to go back another second. Another second. All right, so Jimmy Butler just got the shot off. It goes. Look at the frustration on LeBron James. I noticed this live, and they also, what I'll say after this, they don't show it on the highlights, but if you watched it live, you saw it. So here we go. LeBron James just got scored on when he's defending Jimmy Butler. I mean, there's been so many narratives kind of being written up. LeBron James guarding the best player in crunch time throughout this finals. So now LeBron James is going to make it a point to guard Jimmy Butler. He knows he has to guard Jimmy Butler, because if he doesn't, then everybody be like, oh, why'd you didn't guard him? And if he guards him, if he doesn't do well, then it's like, oh, why did Jimmy Butler drop 40 on you? And then if he guards him and he does well, it's like, okay, but you're obviously bigger. So you're bigger than Jimmy Butler. You should be guarding him. So LeBron James in a loss situation, however him guarding or not guarding Jimmy Butler turns out, but that's not the point. LeBron James, watch him. After the ball goes through the hoop, he slams his fist on the ball. This is frustration. He's like, how did Jimmy Butler just score on me? This is frustrating. Hang on, let me go back a little bit more. Gotta go back a little bit more. So here we go. LeBron James guarding Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler scores. Now watch LeBron pounds the ball a little bit. Now, what you didn't see, if you watched it live, you saw it. Jimmy Butler saw LeBron James pound the ball with his fist after Jimmy Butler just scored on LeBron. So what does Jimmy Butler do? He's smiling. He knows he's getting under LeBron's skin. Jimmy Butler's going to turn it around now. And then after that next possession, after LeBron James slammed the ball, that's kind of when it came downhill for the Lakers. There was no more ball movement. That next possession, LeBron James took an ISO, drove to the rim, but didn't finish. So that was an aggressive kind of shot, a kind of heat check. Oh, you're going to score on me? Well, I'm going to go score on you right back, get our momentum back. But he misses it, and that's when the game kind of fell apart for the Lakers. The frustration by LeBron, no more ball movement by the Lakers, a lot of ISO, LeBron trying to get revenge for Jimmy Butler getting scoring on him. So that was a huge moment in the game. If you were watching it live, you really did notice it. Because they showed a perfect angle of Jimmy Butler just smiling after LeBron hit his fist on the ball. Jimmy Butler knew LeBron was under his skin. Now LeBron's going to play aggressive offensively. It did not work out in that play. So now the Heat have all the momentum. Things are falling apart for the Lakers. So what is Jimmy Butler going to do now? He's going to go to the rim, kick out to a wide open Kelly Olynyk. And you know that is all day cash. That's what Kelly Olynyk brings to this squad. Great 3-point shooter as a center. Well done. And the Lakers just could not score the ball after that. Unfortunate. Jimmy Butler, everybody on the Heat doing their part, win it big here. I mean, they win by 11, folks, 115-104. LeBron James and company just could not get it done. So well done to the Heat for stealing. I'm not even going to say stealing. They won it. They won Game 3. Very well done. All right, let's get into these numbers a little bit. So LeBron James, 25 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists. Very, very good. Very, very good stat line. But his Robin, Anthony Davis, he didn't put up 30. Truly unfortunate. We are usually expecting LeBron James and Anthony Davis to combine for at least 60. What did they do here? Only 40. They lose by 11. You got to wonder where those extra 20 points coming from, because we know that Danny Green and Kyle Kuzma, are all not just going to be good on the same night. I will get into that in a second, but LeBron James and Anthony Davis, they're missing 20 points. 20 points have to come from somewhere. They just don't find anybody else to get them those points. Yes, Kyle Kuzma did score 19, but and yes, Markieff Morris did score 19 as well, but nobody put up, 25 plus. Nobody went for 30 plus for the squad, and that's the downfall for this team. Yes, LeBron James and Anthony Davis are going to get theirs, but even when they get theirs, they still need other players to put up, 10 plus points. That's what made them so successful in games 1 and 2. LeBron James, Anthony Davis getting 65, 70 points, and then Rondo putting up 15, Kuzma putting up 11, KCP putting up 11, Caruso putting up 11. So it was just those the role players for the Lakers team also contributing, but nobody really made a great contribution here besides LeBron James. Anthony Davis couldn't get it to 30. Kyle Kuzma only put up 19, which is very good. But when Kyle Kuzma's good, Danny Green is bad. When Danny Green is good, Kyle Kuzma's bad. And this game was no different. Kyle Kuzma 19 points. Danny Green 2 points, 0 of 6 from the field. Only 2 points coming from the line. 3 points for the man. 0 of 4 from 3. 0 of 6 from the field in total. Caldwell Pope, he only had 5 points. Where those first 2 games he was really balling out, getting us those 11 points that this Lakers team does desperately need, because they still need scorers besides LeBron James and Anthony Davis. And speaking of Anthony Davis, he only took 9 shots. Why was he not scoring more? Why was he not being more aggressive under the basket? I don't know. I mean, still Bam Adebayo wasn't there, so there was still really no beef down low. Miami running kind of a zone really just really kind of locked Anthony Davis down. If you hold Anthony Davis to only 15 points and 5 rebounds, I read that right. 5 rebounds. You're pretty much going to win any game that you go against them. So well done to the Heat to be able to lock down Anthony Davis. Let's talk about Markieff Morris for just a quick second. We saw him in the highlights, some big threes to tie the game. 19 points overall, 5 of 11 from 3, not bad. 6 of 13 from the field, 46% in total, 6 rebounds as well. So Markieff Morris, very good contribution. Unfortunately, you couldn't get KCP along with you, and Anthony Davis had a stinker of a game. Truly unfortunate. But Danny Green still trash, 2 points. Caldwell Pope, 5. I mean, when you're looking at the starting lineup, three of the starters combined for 11 points. That's not going to get it done. That's never going to get it done. Damn. So definitely, if Anthony Davis doesn't have a good game, the Lakers are obviously going to lose. The Lakers need LeBron and Anthony Davis to combine for at least 60 and then get some help from the other players. They got some good help from the other players, but Anthony Davis and LeBron did not combine for 60, so unfortunate. All right, let's go to the Heat now. Why did the Heat win? Because of this. Jimmy Butler, 40-point triple-double. Oh, and he also shot 70%. He was also efficient with it. He didn't even shoot a 3. He did not even take a 3-pointer, and he still put up 40 points. He still put up 40 points, y'all. No threes. Absolutely wild in this time of basketball. 11 rebounds, 13 assists to go along with it. Very, very well done. Just being the leader, knowing what he has to do, knowing that he is really the only star on this team, but he doesn't act like it, but he acted like it in game because he put up 40. So very well done to Jimmy Butler, setting the tone for the squad. And then look at this. We get Tyler Hero with 17. The only issue I'm going to have with Tyler Hero is that he's really not elevating his game, going from the bench to the starters. I mean, the bench, we know he gets like 15 to 17 a game. Now he's the starter, and he's still only getting 17 a game. So I would like to see him kind of elevate his game a little bit, being promoted from the bench to the stars, from the starting role. I get that he's young. He's only 20. This is his first finals. I get it all, folks. I get it. I would just like to see him, have a 20-point game where he has like 5 rebounds and like 4 assists, as something like that. He is the starter. Would like to see him elevate his game a little bit. All right, Kelly Olynyk, 17 points off the bench. I mean, this is fantastic. He's really kind of succeeding here when he needs to. 7 rebounds as well. We know Myers Leonard is not good at all. They're kind of just starting him to kind of start him, kind of like what the Lakers were doing with JaVale McGee. He's not going to play a lot of minutes, but we're just going to put him in the starting lineup just because we have to have somebody in the starting lineup, and we want to have, kind of our better center coming off the bench for more minutes than just in the starting lineup. So Myers Leonard, he scored 9 points or was it even 9? It may have been 9. Or no, it was 9 minutes. I think it was like 2 points. So he goes for 7 points in 12 minutes here, and he had 0 rebounds last game. He got 1 this game, so 1 rebound in his 2 games. I mean, Myers Leonard, he really cannot play the game. He can't be in a really a good piece for this Heat, so they just let him start, and then they let Kelly Olynyk take over, who had a very good game, 17 points and 7 rebounds. Duncan Robinson, 13 points. All right, a little light. Got to get him up into those 15 to, that's kind of high teens, low 20s. So got to get him scoring a little bit. 3 of 10 from 3 is all right. Would like to see him, shoot 50%. Usually he's one of the best 3-point shooters for this Heat team. So got to have him scoring a little bit more points here than just 13. But Jimmy Butler able to just kind of will this team up to a win by scoring 40. just truly, truly amazing. Super impressed by him that we are definitely going to have to update our cash and trash list. We got to take Anthony Davis off definitely for only 15 points. Here we go. Can I change this? There we go. Got to take Anthony Davis off. I think I'm going to leave LeBron on. Not a terrible game, but just really nobody else could step up for him, for his squad. I mean, he was the leading scorer with 25, and then the second wasn't even Anthony Davis. It was Kuzma and Markieff Morris, both with 19, which is fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but definitely have to have Anthony Davis in high scoring figures as well. But I'm definitely going to put Jimmy Butler on here. Absolutely loved what he did, what he brought to the table. So we can definitely take him off. Well done. All right. So heading into finals game number 4, I mean, is Bam Adebayo, Goran Dragic may be able to play. We'll see what their condition is. But, I mean, this Heat team, I mean, these are some dogs here that we're working with. They're finding ways to kind of clog up that paint area with no beef because Bam Adebayo's out, locking down Anthony Davis, kind of locking down LeBron James a little bit, locking down Dwight Howard. He only had 3 rebounds and 4 points. We saw him not score a lot of points in game number 2, but he was still kind of effective. He wasn't effective this game either. Not defensively, not offensively, just the Heat finding ways to win. That's what they do. So heading into game 4, if the spread is still 9.5, I think we have to switch back to the Heat. Honestly, they've shown that they can win the game. So giving 10 points in the finals is a huge, huge plus. I think we switch back to the Heat if it's still that high, 9. It's obviously not going to be that high if Bam Adebayo and Goran Dragic are going to be playing. So we'll keep an eye on that, see what their status is for game number 4, which is going to be tomorrow. So can't wait for that. Heat have a chance to really make it a series. They've proven they can win. They've proven they can score against the Lakers, and they've proven that they can hold the Lakers to only 104 points. And if you hold them to 104 points, the high-powered offense that this Heat team usually plays with is definitely going to surpass the 104 total that the Lakers just put up. So definitely like the Lakers in game number 4. Yeah, they found out how to stop Anthony Davis. That's huge. That's key. Took them 3 games to do it, but hey, they finally did it. And now 2-1, you definitely got a chance now. Alrighty, let's shift focus to the NFL. Alrighty, woof, tough week. Tough week. Let's just do kind of a initial run through. Definitely wrong about this Bears team. I don't know. What do we do now? What do the Bears do? What does Matt Nagy do? Not really sure. Do you stick with Nick Foles? He really could not do anything. Was it the Colts defense, or was it Nick Foles just not being able to do anything? I think it was kind of the Colts defense. They're actually kind of good. I was right about Arizona. Kyler Murray is still trying to go to DeAndre Hopkins too much, and when DeAndre Hopkins doesn't have a good game, Kyler Murray doesn't have a good game, and they only put up 21 points, and they really couldn't get anything going in the first half. So I was right about Arizona. Got to stay off of them. I think they've lost everything that they've built up. Kyler Murray may be a little overrated because now 0-2 in these last 2 games, got out to a very hot start, but are fizzling fast. Jags Bengals, it was a toss-up. I had no idea how it was going to go, but Joe Burrow gets his first game, or his first win. I was wrong about the Cowboys. Big wrong, and we'll get into them. Wrong about them. I was wrong about the Texans. I thought the Texans were going to have a good game and finally win, but they're 0-4, and we can officially label the Texans are trash. They're trash. They can't score. I mean, this Minnesota defense, folks, is not good. They have no great players. They lost all their good starters from last year in the offseason. So Texans can't win. They really couldn't even score. I mean, they I don't know what's going on with the Texans. I think it's Bill O'Brien. There was 2 coaches going into this week that I believe they were on the hot seat. Adam Gase is always on the hot seat, so I'm not including them. I don't want to hear it. Texans, Bill O'Brien on the hot seat, and I think he should be fired really any second. And Dan Quinn, who plays tonight, I think he's also on the hot seat. 2 coaches to watch for, but Texans, Bill O'Brien starting 0-4. I think you got to get him out of there. Get him out of there. Seahawks Dolphins, a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Dolphins really hung around here. Really close game throughout the entire time. Even though Ryan Fitzpatrick did throw 2 interceptions, we only lose by 8. 1 possession game. I'll take that. Good signs here. This young Dolphins team building this winning culture, building this competitive culture. And once we substitute Tua, we make the switch from Ryan Fitzpatrick to Tua. We're going to be good to go here. So very good things. Promising things ahead to Miami. And don't knock the Seahawks. This was a close game against the Dolphins. Why are they number 1 in the games are usually close, folks. Games are usually 1 possession. So let's, relax on the Seahawks on the road against a young, hungry Miami team. We're not penalizing Seattle at all here. They put up 31. That's pretty good. All right, Chargers, Bucks. Justin Herbert looked all right in the first half. It looked like, they were letting him open it up a little bit, but then in the second half, they went back to dink and dunk and the run and the not letting him really show his arm when he really showed it in the first half very well. I mean, he threw like a 50-yard bomb at one point in the first half to really get their kind of first score besides the pick 6. So, I mean, the Bucks still win by 7. Very good. That's what we had. We had the Bucks -7 in this game. The only game I think we were kind of even closely right about. It ended in a push, but it was still right. So Chargers a little bit better than I thought they would be offensively, putting up 31 big points. There was a pick 6. They just didn't really kind of rock with Justin Herbert in the second half. I don't know really what happened. Ravens, Washington, Ravens bounce back. They still give up 17, but that's not too bad. And they also put up 31. So Lamar Jackson, we'll get into his numbers to see if that was a good game. Giants, Rams only put up 17. That's a little concerning. I'll get into it a little more when we get into that actual game. But only putting up 17, a little questionable against a poor, pathetic Giants team on the road as well. Bills looking really good. Josh Allen, I'm believing now. We'll talk about him a little bit in depth. And then the Eagles, 49ers. Eagles get their first win because they didn't turn the ball over a lot. That's the main story. We'll get into it. So here we go. Let's run down through these games. Here we go. We will start with Arizona and Carolina. Arizona, what is going on? Kyler Murray, 24 of 31 for only 133 yards? 133 yards? What are we doing? This is the definition of dink and dunk, y'all. 24 completions for 130 yards. This is like 5 yards a pass. Who are we throwing to? Only 3 touchdowns. Yeah, that's good, but it wasn't going anywhere. No interceptions. Definitely can get behind that. Remember Kyler Murray last week, 3 interceptions. Tone it down a little bit here with none, but you still lose the game. Very conservative here. 24 completions for only 133 yards. I can't believe that. But then when we get in depth here, I mean, why? Because DeAndre Hopkins didn't have 150 yards receiving. They focus too much on just DeAndre Hopkins. He is not the end-all, be-all of this offense. They try to get the running game going, which I think is a great idea, but Kenyon Drake only rushed for 35 yards. So this offensive line needs to be better. They need to establish the run. And once again, I mean, not getting Larry Fitzgerald involved. 3 targets for 4 yards. What are we doing here? They're focusing too much on DeAndre Hopkins. If DeAndre Hopkins isn't receiving for 150 yards, Kyler Murray stats are dipping because of that. They try to focus him too much. That's why they lose this game, really. Got out to a poor start as well in the first quarter. I mean, we're looking at 5 and out, 3 and out, 5 and out. Really not competitive at all. Not taking any time off the clock. 2-minute drive, minute 20, 2 minutes. So first quarter, it was all Carolina as we see it here. Them scoring on their first 2 possessions. Very well done. Getting out to a 14-0 lead. Very good there. Teddy Bridgewater, 26 of 37, 276 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Definitely good. That's a good stat line. Definitely don't like the pick, but he's still throwing the ball down the field, averaging that 10 yards a throw, which we like to see. Running game kind of got started a little bit too. We get Mike Davis with 84 yards, and then we get Reggie, what is this? Bonifon, 10 carries for 53 yards. So both rushers got it done for Carolina, and then we had close to a 100-yard receiver in Robbie Anderson. Very well done. So everything was kind of clicking for Carolina. Yeah, early on, very well done. But then the interception interception came by Teddy Bridgewater in the second quarter. Kyler Murray tried to take advantage of that and scored a touchdown, but then Carolina answers, making it 21-7, and then Arizona goes back to not being able to do anything. Punt there, a minute and 20 off the clock, and they have to punt, and then the first drive is a fumble, and who fumbled the ball here? Kyler Murray. Looks like he fumbled it. Unfortunate. Got sacked and fumbled. Unfortunate. And then Carolina gets up 28-7, and now game's over at this point. You're down 21 points. You haven't been able to score or even think about scoring the ball or look like you're scoring the ball. So now Carolina's just backing off. 4-minute drive ends in a touchdown. Once again, they're back to their 3-and-outs in their fourth quarter, and then they score a touchdown basically at the end of the game when, they're already down. What are they down at that point? 31-14. I mean, game is over, folks, so can't count anything good that this Arizona team is doing. Kyler Murray, I think everybody kind of overhyped him a little bit. We did a little bit. I won't lie. They were in my top 10 for a little bit. But after last week, I saw the writing on the wall. And kind of my best take from last week is that Arizona pretty much wasn't going to we should bail on Arizona was pretty much my statement. And we bailed on them. We were correct in doing so. They're 2-2 now. I really don't know where to go with this Arizona team. They just have to find different ways to win besides just forcing it down DeAndre Hopkins' throat like 15 times a game. You have to start opening up the offense, finding other ways to score besides DeAndre Hopkins, and I don't think they can. I don't know. I think they should be able to. They have good weapons. Kenyon Drake is a great runner, in my opinion, and you still have Larry Fitzgerald as your receiver, as your number 2 receiver. So start getting other players involved, not just DeAndre Hopkins. They still threw to that man 9 times last week, but Carolina locked it down. So well done to them. Don't really know where I want to go with Carolina. This is a good win without Christian McCaffrey. Teddy Bridgewater was still distributing the ball. Robbie Anderson with 99 yards. I mean, look at these are good yards here. They're top 4 receivers here. Mike Davis, DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel, Robbie Anderson, all very good yards. 99, 51, 49, 27, 18. 18's pretty much the cutoff, but just spreading the ball around here. High targets to a lot of different players. Carolina spreading the ball, where Arizona is single-handedly only targeting basically one player the entire time. Arizona does it. Saints stopped doing it, so we'll talk about them. They stopped just going to Alvin Kamara, running the ball and passing the ball, and they get the win. Arizona's still stuck in just one player, DeAndre Hopkins, and they lose. Is there a correlation there? There definitely is. So I'm going to be bailing on Arizona until they start proving that they can have multiple scores and not just DeAndre Hopkins. So do not build too much confidence in Arizona. They are currently falling, in my opinion. All right, let's move on. Here we go. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Bears, oh, Bears, oh, Bears, man. You really made me look stupid last week. I thought this was the best bet of the week. Bears +3. Bears at home. Nick Foles looking really good. The previous week, 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. I thought his accuracy, we watched him a little bit last week. His accuracy dipped a little bit, but I thought that was just because you were thrown in there halfway through the third quarter. Your team was losing. You're a little nervous because you do have to kind of prove yourself here, but you got the win, and that was the most important thing. I thought a full week of practice would really help Nick Foles shore up that accuracy a little bit and able to be competitive here, but they only put up 11 points, basically only 3. I mean, those 8 points came in the fourth quarter. I mean, at garbage time, really. Here we go. When they score the ball, when they score this touchdown, we're talking a minute and 41 seconds left in the game. They finally score a touchdown. So the final score really should be 19-3. Colts. The Bears, what do you do? They just could not move the ball the entire game. It's truly unfortunate. These stats are a little bit of a lie, a little inflated on these last 2 drives here, where they were able to march decently. On this last one, they went 90 yards, so you have to kind of all of these were basically pass plays, so you have to kind of subtract 90 yards from these stats of Nick Foles, and we're looking at 130. 140 yards. So don't get too caught up with the 250 yards. All bogus, all kind of padding the stats there on that last drive. Game's over, and you go and make the 2-point conversion to make it look a little better. But this game was a true blowout. They just could not do anything. Here we go. First 3 drives in the first quarter, all resulting in punts. Where did we just see that? Arizona, 5 and out, 6 and out. Difference is on this Chicago team than Arizona. They were able to kind of sustain the drive a little bit. Took 3 minutes, took 2.5 minutes off the clock on these drives, but still the end result is the same, going nowhere. 12 yards, 15 yards, 14 yards, you have to punt the ball. They finally get a field goal, but that's it. I mean, you're talking 3 points at halftime on, they had 5 solid possessions. Not great. Colts, I mean, they're strange to me. Like, I can't buy them because they're not putting up the points. They only put up 19 here against a good Bears defense. So this Bears defense kept them alive. I mean, realistically, when we're talking, if you score below 20 points in an NFL game, you pretty much expect to lose. And if you score over 20, then you know that you have a chance to win. Here we go. Our Colts putting up 19 and still winning the ball game. That's all Chicago's offense, just not able to get it done. Do you go back to Mitch Trubisky? I don't think you can. I think you have to just kind of ride with Nick Foles for the remainder of the season, and then next year you have to cut them both loose. They've proven, well, so far Nick Foles has proven that as a starter he can't get it done. Backup, kind of the Ryan Fitzpatrick role. You have me in, kind of training up another quarterback, getting him ready to go. You have me in emergency situations or in a rebuilding phase. I can kind of win you a couple of games, establish a decent culture heading forward. But if I'm the primary starter, I'm the primary focus, I'm counted on to win games every single week, I just can't do that. Nick Foles, Ryan Fitzpatrick, same category here. I think I bought into Nick Foles a little too much last week. I learned my lessons. I am officially off the Bears. They cannot put up any points offensively. I think they were a little bit better with Mitch Trubisky. Mitch Trubisky wouldn't only put up 3 points. I mean, he kind of did in game number 1, but I just don't know where we go with this Bears team. I don't know where we go with this Colts team either, only putting up 19 points. Let's look at what Phillip Rivers did. I mean, 16 completions for 190 yards, 1 touchdown. Not even getting – that's the point with this Colts team. I mean, usually they're not relying on Phillip Rivers to go and throw 300 yards a game to win. Last week we saw, I think he was just below under 200 yards as well. Not a lot of completions. Here we go, 16 of 29. 1 touchdown, no interceptions. That's good. But how are we scoring this ball? It just doesn't look like, when you look at the stat line, you're like, oh, they probably didn't put up a lot of points, and it's reflected in the score. So I really don't know where to put these Colts going forward. I have to kind of shake off that kind of week 1 where Phillip Rivers threw 2 interceptions and kind of looked like old Phillip Rivers. But in these last 3 weeks, getting 3 wins, not against the best competition. So that's why I'm a little hesitant to elevate this Colts team a little bit. They beat the Vikings and they beat the Jets. I mean, 2 bad defenses, and the Jets have a horrible team in general. And now they face the Bears, who have a good defense, and they only put up 19 points, but Phillip Rivers didn't throw an interception. So I'm really torn on how to rank the Colts. I know how to rank the Bears. I'm off of them big time now. Only putting up 11 points at home when you're 3-0. Not a good showing. Definitely not a good showing. A lot of punts in this game by both teams. Both teams really couldn't drive. We get couple of field goals by Indianapolis, 1 touchdown on their first possession. These first kind of, 10, everybody, they all say it when you're watching the games, oh, the first 10 plays are scripted. Well, and I believe that is true. That is a fact. So Colts' first series here ends in a touchdown because it's scripted. You go off script. Now you're settling for field goal. I mean, they had 1 touchdown in the game, and that was their first drive. So really don't know what to do with these Colts. I know what to do with the Bears. They're out of here. We're not on them anymore. I can't trust Nick Foles anymore. The accuracy is getting to him. Didn't short up, 26 of 42. Not the best. And you really only put up 140 yards. So, Bears, they let me down last week, so I got to kick them out. All right, let's move on. Bengals Jags. Joe Burrow finally getting his first win, and look at this. Let's look at this man's stats. 25 of 36, 300 big yards, touchdown pick. Pick is not great, but hey, you got the win, and the pick only resulted in 3 points for Jacksonville, so not bad in that department. Let's look at Gardner Minshew now. He also opened it up. 27 of 40, 351 big yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, and they lose it 25 to 33. Really just kind of a shootout. Big quarterbacks doing big things. Joe Burrow at the end of the day able to get it done. And why? Because Joe Mixon also rushed for 151 yards, 2 touchdowns. He averaged 6 yards a carry. So they were throwing it 300 yards. They rushed it for 150. And that combo just did better than throwing it for 351 and then having James Robinson rush for 75. So big running game by Joe Mixon there to really kind of help Joe Burrow out a little bit. They were the last ones the Jacksonville Jaguars ended up getting a field goal because they were down 11, 2 scores. They go for a field goal, try the onside kick, doesn't go, and the Bengals can just ice it out. So well done to Joe Burrow finally getting his first win, and Jacksonville's looking like the fraud that we thought they were. They win week 1, a lot of buzz around them. Oh, Gardner Minshew's back. Not quite yet. Jacksonville, their team is still not great. Their head coach, Doug Monroe, is still not great. You've got the young and upcoming Bengals squad, so they're able to get their first win at home. But yeah, fall off the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're trending down while the Bengals are trending up. Let's look at what A.J. Green did. Only 1 catch, 5 targets for 3 yards. Not the best. All right, we'll leave that be. Let's move forward. Alrighty, Cowboys, Browns, and man, oh man, my second best bet of the week, Cowboys -4.5, and they can't even win. They weren't even competitive because a lot of turnovers got them off their mark. So before we get into these turnovers, I do want to kind of point out these first kind of 2 touchdown drives, a lot of trick plays in a sense. Their first touchdown, Jarvis Landry throws it to Odell Beckham for 37 yards. So this is not Baker Mayfield doing this. Is there correlation to that? Possibly. I usually think a lot of trick plays in big games mean you don't trust your quarterback to go win you the game. A la Bills in their playoff game in the wild card round last year, that first kind of couple of drives, Josh Allen, a lot of trick plays, him not throwing touchdowns because Doug McDermott didn't fully trust Josh Allen to go win him that game against Houston in the playoffs last year. Now we get a big spot here. Cleveland in Dallas. Everybody knows that. Everybody will be talking about this game on Monday because we're talking about Dallas and, the classic Cleveland has been trash forever. So, I mean, the headlines were already writing themselves. So, Baker Mayfield in a big game, a trick play to kick off the scoring. Their next drive results in a punt. So what do they have to go back to? Kind of another trick play. We get an Odell Beckham run for 23 yards to kickstart this drive that ends off in a touchdown. So do we have and then after those trick plays, that's when Dallas starts to turn the ball over, and now we're working with Baker Mayfield, short field, building his confidence from those first 2 drives those first 3 drives where a lot of trick plays kicked off the scoring for them. Now fumbles, short fields, giving Baker Mayfield even more confidence. They're up 28-14. They know they just have to kind of manage the game through here on out to keep this 14-point lead. So, yes, we can give Baker Mayfield a little bit of credit. He did only go 19 of 30 for 165 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. I mean, Baker Mayfield did not win them the game. That's the main point to take away. Trick play, set it up early. Dallas starts turning the ball over in the second quarter. Browns take advantage of short fields. They're up 28-14. I mean, everything's rolling. You've got so much momentum. Cowboys try to come back. Unfortunately, just time runs out. They cut it to a 3-point game at one point, but then, Cowboys Or then the Browns get off a freaking 50-yard run by Odell Beckham that should have been blown up 10 yards in the backfield. He takes it all the way. So Odell Beckham, absolutely the key reason why the Browns won. They got the ball into his hands in different ways, trick ways that really helped boost the scoring for the Browns. We see Odell Beckham, second leading rusher with 73 yards and a touchdown, and then 81 yards receiving for 2 touchdowns as well, one of those being thrown by Jarvis Landry. So, yes, the Cowboys defense is absolute garbage. Yes, turning the ball over. I mean, Dak Prescott, he doesn't even care about wins anymore. He cares about the contract, and he's playing like it. He's just letting it fly. These yards are coming because he has to throw the ball. I mean, we're talking about going into the fourth quarter. We're talking about them being down 41-14. 41-14. So obviously you're going to throw the ball. Dak Prescott is padding his stats. He's still the leading passer through 4 weeks because his team is down big. They shouldn't have won against Atlanta. They were down big against Atlanta. Shouldn't have won. They were down big against Cleveland this week and tried to come back, but fortunately, thank God they couldn't, because we would have been overinflating Dallas even more. So I don't know what's going on in Dallas. Is it the head coach? The defense is not good. Dak Prescott, he's turning the ball over. Ezekiel Elliott, he's turning the ball over, and it's going for touchdowns every time they turn the ball over. That's big. So I think the Browns are good. I will say they are good. They have a lot of talent offensively. Not trusting Baker Mayfield just quite yet. I mean, look at this man's stats. A lot of trick plays to open it up. Then the turnovers help him out with the short field. 19 of 30 for 165 yards, only 2 touchdowns. I mean, we're talking dink and dunk here. 19 completions, 165 yards. That's not even 10 yards of completion. So got to count it as dink and dunk. And I just really don't know what to make from this Dallas team. They're putting up a ton of points because they have to start throwing the ball in the second half when they're down 20-plus points. So not sure what to make of them. I don't like Mike McCarthy as the coach. It's not translating to wins. That's what we saw when he was coaching Aaron Rodgers, only 1 Super Bowl. A lot of 10-win seasons because, yes, the offense is good, but it just does not translate to wins. Why does it not? Because you're getting down early, playing from behind. Stats are a little inflated. So don't want to buy Dak Prescott a lot. I think he's just going for the contract. You're going to pay me based on the stats. I don't care. I'm going to put up the numbers, and I'm going to have my fans, just go out on Twitter and be like, how is Dak Prescott not getting paid top money? He's the best passer in the league. He's throwing the most yards. He's throwing the most touchdowns. Why is he not $100 million quarterback? Why? So Dak Prescott, I think he's playing that angle. Hey, I'm just going to put up the yards. I don't care if we win. I'm putting up the stats. Pay me. Not translating the wins. Can't buy Dallas quite yet. Don't want to buy Cleveland just quite yet either. Trick plays, turnovers really, really helped them. I'm not saying that Baker Mayfield didn't play good. He did play good. He played like a game manager. Trick plays to get you off to a good start so you can manage the game. You don't have to go out there and throw, a 75-yard pass to, get the first points on the board. Trick play opens up the scoring. Now Dallas is turning the ball over. Now you're making good with short field position. I mean, these turnovers, they're starting at Dallas's 34. They're starting at Dallas's 34. Baker Mayfield only needs to go 34 yards. Did they pass it a lot? 11-yard pass, 10-yard run, 12-yard run, touchdown, 1-yard pass. So, I mean, they're not asking Baker Mayfield to win them the games. He passed it for a combined out of 34 yards between where they got it from in the end zone. He passed it for 12 yards. Running the ball, and now the Dallas' second turnover. Cleveland starts at midfield, 28-yard run, sets him up at great field position. So, I mean, and then we get 11-yard pass, 10-yard run, pass complete. I mean, they're not asking Baker Mayfield is not winning them the games. Trick plays, turnovers, short fields is the perfect recipe for Baker Mayfield, the game manager, to win them the game. That's exactly what they did. So don't want to buy the Browns just too much this week. I do want to respect them. The game plan was absolutely fantastic. I'm not knocking this entire Browns team. I'm just saying that Baker Mayfield didn't go and win them the game. A great game plan, a fantastic head coach won them the game, and the defense forcing turnovers, whether they forced it or Dallas. Most of these were forced, so well done to Cleveland's defense. But yeah, not going to buy the Browns too much. I will buy them a little bit, but I'm not buying them 100% that their offense totally won them the game. Dallas, I really don't know what we do with them, honestly. They're trash defensively. Offense is good. They're putting up the yards and points, but because they have to, because they're down big. All right, let's move on. Saints, Lions. Lions getting out to their classic big start, but then fizzling out. Kind of what we've seen their first three games, the Lions' first three games. Good, basically scoring their first possessions because those are scripted plays, so that's working out very well. Touchdown on their first two drives. Then they start to fizzle out, and then they only put up, 15 points for the rest of the game. So, I mean, they did what they did in the first 10 minutes and for the rest of the last 50 minutes. So, not a lot of promise going on with Matt Stafford. 17 of 31, 206 yards, 3 touchdowns is good. 1 interception, not bad. We can live with that when you're putting up 3 touchdowns. Running game is really non-existent. DeAndre Swift, only 22 yards, and Adrian Peterson, averaging his 3.3 yards a carry, only 36 yards. DeAndre Swift did get a little bit of redemption. He caught a touchdown pass, remember week 1, when he should have won the game for the Lions, catching it in the end zone. So he finally gets a little bit of revenge here, gets a passing touchdown, receiving touchdown, so well done to them. Alrighty, why have we been saying the Saints have been losing? Because they don't have Michael Thomas, and they only go to Alvin Kamara. What did they do differently this game to win? Well, they took my advice finally. Finally, somebody's listening. Somebody's listening to me. Thank you, Sean Payton, for listening to me, because sometimes I know what I'm talking about. The Saints won because they did not just go to Alvin Kamara. Remember, Arizona going to DeAndre Hopkins every time. Saints going to Alvin Kamara every time. Cardinals still continue to go to DeAndre Hopkins. They lose. Saints switch it up. They don't go to Alvin Kamara every time they win. I'm telling y'all, the correlation is there. Here we go. Alvin Kamara, he rushed it 19 times for 83 yards and a touchdown. Absolutely love it. But they also got Latavius Murray into the mix. 14 carries for 64 yards. So they're finding other rushers to go to. Fantastic. And not only are they not passing to Alvin Kamara more, they're going to my suggestion, Emmanuel Sanders. He's fantastic, y'all. He is on Michael Thomas's level. They finally give the ball. He's the most targeted, 9 targets, 6 receptions, 93 yards. Absolutely fantastic. You're not throwing to Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara is the 3rd leading receiver. I can get behind that. That's fantastic. Traquan Smith put up another 54 yards and 2 touchdowns. So they're finding other pieces to get the ball to, other ways to score. I absolutely love it. Finally, Drew Brees is not just going to Alvin Kamara every single play. Oh, it's not a rushing play? Well, I got to throw it to Alvin Kamara in the backfield. Oh, I'm not throwing it? It's a rush play to Alvin Kamara? Yes, that's fine. So, Drew Brees, 19 of 25, 246 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. The interception came early that the Lions made him pay for by scoring a touchdown, so they were able to go up 14-0. But resilient Drew Brees stays cool, calm, collected, and then starts to throw touchdowns. I mean, look at this. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. 3 straight touchdown drives after that interception. He knows what he's doing. Oh, make it 4. Make it 4 straight touchdowns. Do we have a 5? Oh, we've got 5 straight touchdowns. Look at that. They start to fizzle out a little bit at the end of the game, ending on 2 punts. But look at this. I mean, we're talking about 5 straight touchdown drives after the interception to put up 35 points quickly every single time we're out. All right, we're scoring. So good there. Good redemption there by the Saints offense, who have been a little lackluster these last 2 weeks. Very well done. Saints are back at it, finding other players to get involved. Hopefully Michael Thomas is back next week so the Saints can be even better. But I think that's the main takeaway. Saints, Drew Brees is finding Emmanuel Sanders a good rhythm in this offense. That's what we were kind of waiting for Tom Brady to find Mike Evans a good spot in the offense, because the Bucs are only as good as Mike Evans, in my opinion. Tom Brady needs a deep ball threat, and Mike Evans is that man, and Emmanuel Sanders could be that man for Drew Brees, but Drew Brees is just figuring that out week 4, but hey, better late than never. All right, moving on. Texans, Vikings. Texans are officially trash. We can mark them up as trash. If you can't beat the Vikings, I don't know what to tell you. I initially chalked it up at, you just faced great competition. First 3 weeks were absolutely brutal. Chiefs, Ravens, Steelers defense. Now you've got a Vikings team with absolutely no defense. Kirk Cousins, who's been throwing interceptions these past 2 weeks, and you're at home. So what is the deal? The deal must be Bill O'Brien. I don't know what else to think. I mean, they've got the weapons offensively. You've got Deshaun Watson. You've got David Johnson. You've got Will Fuller. You have Kenny Stills. You have Randall Cobb. What more do y'all need? You've got a not great defense. Let's look at these defensive pieces here. What are we working with? We're working with J.J. Watt. Great there. We get Whitney Merciless. Good there. Who else we got? Is that it? Not great corners. Not great safeties. Michael Thomas, not bad. But, overall, it's a decent defense. But, I mean, you still should be putting up more than 23 points. Can we score more than 23? We'll start with Deshaun Watson here, 20 of 33 for 300 yards. I mean, that's great. 2 touchdowns, no picks. Definitely can get behind that. David Johnson ran for 63 yards. That's not horrible. Will Fuller, 100-yard receiver. Other than that, getting everybody else involved. I mean, look at this. I mean, we're talking about a ton of receivers with more than 20 yards. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 receivers with 20-plus yards. So spreading the ball around, but you can't capitalize. I just don't understand. Look at these first couple of drives. 3-and-out punt, 3-and-out punt, 6-and-out, 6 plays, but you only went 16 yards. You have to punt. Then you get a field goal on a 10-play drive. Got to settle for that field goal. 8-play drive, once again, have to settle for the field goal. And you only put up 6 points going into half. Coming out of half, you did very decent. Touchdown on the first drive after halftime. Another field goal. Another 3-and-out, though. So they're just not consistent. Not consistently scoring. Consistently going 3-and-out to start the half. I mean, last week it was they scored in the first half, couldn't score in the second half. This week they put up 6 points in the first half, and then they kind of get decent scoring in the second half. But at that point, I mean, you've got no advantage. The Vikings are doing the same thing you guys are doing, kind of going 3-and-out, trying to keep up scoring with you. They put up 17 in the first half, and they put up 7. Or how many did they put up in the second half? In the first half, they put up 17. Second half, they go for 7, 14. So they go for 14. So they're scoring equally first and second half when you're only scoring in the second half or the first half, or just you're not putting an entire game together. And we have to look at the coach, Bill O'Brien. How are you running your team? Why is your team not better? You were a good team last year. You were supposed to be one of the big 3 in the AFC. Chiefs, Ravens, then Texans. That was supposed to be the big 3 in the AFC. Good, strong, dual-threat quarterbacks all atop the AFC, but Texans are 0-4 now, and you can't even beat the Vikings, and you're at home. So we have to fall big off the Texans. They are officially trash. We can't chalk it up to a tough schedule early. We have to just chalk it up to Bill O'Brien can't coach, and this overall Texans team, without DeAndre Hopkins, they have no identity offensively. It's unfortunate. We'll look at Kirk Cousins a little bit because he did throw no interceptions, so we do have to highlight that a little bit. And Dalvin Cook, oh my goodness, another huge game from him. 130 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. They're pounding this ball. Not relying on Kirk Cousins seemed to be the move here. Kirk Cousins doesn't turn the ball over, and they have a good running game. They finally get their first win. Last week, a lot of turnovers for Cousins. Dalvin Cook still had a good rushing game, but the turnovers were just, you could not overcome them. No turnovers at all. Nobody fumbled for the squad, so well done. And then we had 200-yard receivers. So 16 of 22 for 260 yards. That's fantastic. Airing out the ball. This isn't dink and dunk. We've got Adam Thielen with 114 yards, and we had Justin Jefferson with 103 yards. So well done to the Vikings finally getting it together offensively. Their defense played okay, but the Texans aren't that great offensively to really judge your defense. But you did put up 31 points, so I can get behind that. Well done, Minnesota. And so we can trend up a little bit on Minnesota, but we have to be trending down still on Houston. They're just trash. They're trash. Officially trash. 0-4. Trash, 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 trash. Can't say trash enough about this Texans team. Alrighty, Seattle and Miami. What happens? All right, well, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Interception to start the game. He was trying to be like Russell Wilson. Remember, was it last week? Russell Wilson opens up with the pick six, but then goes to throw 5 touchdowns. Ryan Fitzpatrick was like, oh, that's an interesting strategy. Let me try that. He throws an interception, but then he goes to throw no touchdown. So that obviously does not work, Ryan. You cannot do that. It's not, oh, you throw an interception your first drive, you're good to go for the rest of the game. You still got to throw the touchdowns, my man. So they keep it close. I mean, this game was close the entire game, y'all. I mean, look at this. 7-3, 10-3, 10-6, 10-9, 17-9, 17-12, 17-15. But then they go, we get close, so they have to go and score the touchdown and ruin the game. 24-15, and then it's 31-15 because we throw another interception in the fourth quarter. We do cut it back down to a 8-point game all in all. But unfortunately, Ryan Fitzpatrick, we know this of him. He is a career backup for a reason. He will go and win you kind of that big game, that primetime game, Thursday Night Football. But then other than that, after that Fitzmagic game, he's back to classic 2 interceptions, no touchdowns, a lot of yards, kind of Jameis Winston, but a little worse because he doesn't always throw a lot of touchdowns with his interceptions. So the Dolphins do have to move off of Ryan Fitzpatrick because Dolphins are competitive now. We are competitive now. We've built the winning culture last year. It's spilling over into this season, but we just need Tua to be our quarterback. So whenever they make the switch, I hope it's sooner rather than later. I would like to still be competitive. This AFC is not the best so far, so we could really squeak in, especially with that added extra wildcard team. There's 3 wildcard spots now up for grabs for playoffs, not just 2 anymore. So, we could really turn around the season. We have an easier stretch coming up, a nice little 5-game stretch coming up for the Dolphins that really should be all winnable. I really hope we make the switch really kind of this season. I would like to see 2 out there. I would guess kind of the rehab of the injury is still an issue if he's not playing yet. But yeah, we were competitive against Seattle, so that's a huge takeaway for us. Gaskin, not a huge game like he had last week on Thursday Night Football, only 40 yards this week. But Devontae Parker, he's still a very, very great receiver, 110 yards. Hopefully he's all right because I do know that he got injured. I don't think he came back into the game. He may have, but we'll keep an eye on Devontae Parker's ankle injury, I believe. So yeah, great job by him with the 100 yards receiving. All right, let's go to Seattle now. They're my number 1 team in the power rankings heading into this week, and they win, and do they stay? Yeah, they were a little competitive here against Miami, but we're not going to knock teams being competitive. Usually, scores are 1 possession. The Rams only put up 17 against the Giants and allowed 9. The Ravens only beat Washington by 14. So, there's rarely any big blowouts in the league, so we're not going to penalize the Seahawks here for only winning 31-23 against Miami in Miami, all right? Russell Wilson, 2 touchdowns. We're used to those 5, right? So a little bit of a step back here. He can't maintain, nobody can maintain 5 touchdowns every single week. I think he had 4 week 1, but he had another rushing touchdown, so I think he was responsible for 5 that game. But Chris Carson, very, very good game here. 16 carries, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns. DK Metcalf, yes, sir, another 100-yard receiving game from him. And David Moore had 95 yards, so very close to two receivers with 100 yards receiving for Russell Wilson. So he's still getting it done. Seattle's still a very, very good team. Miami is competitive. Our defense is still pretty decent. We were able to pick off Russell Wilson. Not a lot of people can say that, right? So well done to Miami for being competitive against a powerhouse in Seattle. Alrighty, Chargers, Bucks. All right, in the first half, Justin Herbert. I mean, we haven't been shitting on him, but we've been kind of just saying that this Chargers offense isn't tailored to Justin Herbert just quite yet. It's a lot of running, getting the ball quickly out of his hands, getting him comfortable. But then we had they let him rip it open for 53 yards. Let's watch this play because I couldn't believe what I was watching. I was like, oh my goodness, we finally get a deep ball by Justin Herbert. Thank God. Look at this man air it out, wide open, puts it right on the money. That's not behind. That's not above. That is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful ball to a wide open receiver. Gotta love Justin Herbert here. I think this is his first deep ball of his career, to be honest. We've watched all of his plays those first 2 games he's played, and he's never been able to air it out. Finally, Chargers do it. They call his number, but that's basically it. I mean, they kind of went back to that dink and dunk style after that in the second half. Not very impressive there. But he did go 20 of 25, 290 yards, a lot of those coming off that one play. But hey, 3 touchdowns. He did also have a pick. But Tom Brady, I mean, he had a pick 6 too. Tom Brady was the reason why they had all this, the Chargers had all this confidence. That's why they were able to make it competitive, because Justin Herbert goes and scores a 50-yard touchdown. And then the next series from Tampa is a pick 6 from Tom Brady. So now Chargers on the road up 14-7. Your offense is working, your defense is working, everything is coming together. They go and add another touchdown in the second quarter to go up 21-7. They add another field goal to go up 24-7. The offense is moving the ball. But then they get a fumble, and who fumbles the ball? Kelly fumbles, a rusher fumbles, and then Tom Brady and the Bucks are back into the game, 24-14 at that point. And then coming out of halftime, you know Tom Brady's going to make the adjustments, and then they just couldn't do anything offensively, the Chargers. So Chargers first possession 3 and out after the halftime. Tom Brady's first possession after halftime is an 8-play, 70-yard touchdown drive. And then the Chargers try to make up for their 3 and out with a long drive that ends up in a missed 47-yard field goal. Unfortunate for them. And Tom Brady takes advantage of that kind of shorter field position. Not too short, but you start on your own 37. That's a good advantage. And they go and score a touchdown. And they finally take the lead. But it's not too big for Justin Herbert. He goes big again. 72 yards. But is it all Justin Herbert? Let's find out. Here he is from his own 27-yard line. Lets it fly and lets the receiver do it all after that. So still a good ball when he's able to air it out. He's really kind of on the money. The accuracy on these deep ball passes. Let's count how far the actual pass in the air was. Throwing it from about the 15 to about the 45-yard line. So that's a very, very good throw there. What are we talking about? 40 yards, 35 yards in the air. Do they break it down in here? What do we got? They don't break it down. But still, I mean, his deep ball accuracy is good. They have to get away from, just him dinking and dunking it all. And then when everything's pushed up, then you launch the long ball. I get the setup. I get the strategy behind it. But let this man go throw 15-yard passes, down the field. The man is capable. I think they're protecting him a little bit. I think it's hurting him a little bit. He's got the arm, he's got the talent. Let this man open it up. Let this man air the ball down the field throughout the entire game, not just when, you set up, just for setup plays. We're running, getting the defense pressed up. Now that they're pressed, now we take the long shot. It's a good strategy, but you don't have to play that conservative with Justin Herbert. I think he's when you let him prove himself, he does prove himself. And now finally we have some good deep ball tape on him, and we can change our opinion around that. His arm is good. His arm is good. They're just holding him back, I think, a little bit. But then, touchdown Tom Brady. Back to Justin Herbert's big 72-yard pass for a touchdown. But then, they go back to 3 and out, and then the pick at the end of the game, trying to do too much because they're down a full touchdown. So overall, Justin Herbert looking good. He's trending up in my opinion. Bucks are still trending up. Their first half was absolutely not great, but they got it figured out in the second half. Touchdown, 2 for 2, 3 for 3, 4 for 4 on scoring drives. I mean, they were scoring the ball every single time they touched it in the second half. 3 touchdowns, 1 field goal. Very good. So, yes, not a great first half, but they come out in the second half. And Tom Brady, 5 touchdowns, 30 of 46, 369 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 pick. Very well done. And then Ronald Jones also rushed for 100 yards. So, getting great complementary football. And look at this. Mike Evans, 122 yards receiving, a touchdown. Absolutely love it. Getting that man involved in your offense will make your life a lot easier, Tom Brady. I guarantee it. So trend up on the Chargers a little bit, trend up on the Bucs a little bit. Alrighty, I mean, Ravens, Washington, let's see how Dwayne Haskins is doing. He impressed us last week. He was able to get good drives down the field for touchdowns, not having to work with the short field, so his arm was looking all right. But let's see what happened this week. 32 of 45, 314 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. So it was just all right, a decent performance. I would like to see a touchdown drive because of him. You know what I mean? I would like to see him throw some touchdowns. What do we got here? On their touchdown drive that started on their own 25. So this is a full, basically, field they have to drive. 11-yard pass, 1-yard pass, 13-yard pass. So he is driving the ball down the field. Just doesn't get the credit for the touchdown, but that's fine. 40-yard pass. Is this what I'm reading? Let's watch this from Dwayne Haskins. He's slowly getting better. That's what we want to see. He threw no touchdowns in this game. That's a huge plus for him. And then this touchdown, this is just all receiver going down inside the 10. Not the best pass. I mean, look, it's right on the line of scrimmage. So this is all the set up screen, set up bubble screen for the receiver. Get the ball in your hands of your playmakers, and that's what he's doing. And then they just cap it off with a run, when you're inside the 10. So good job by Dwayne Haskins to distribute the football decently, but still a lot of punts here. Let's count these punts. What do we got? A 9-play drive that only went 17 yards, ends in a punt. Then they fumbled the ball, and then another 3 and out. A missed field goal on a 9-play drive. We saw that touchdown, but then they followed up with a 5-play, 8-yard drive that ends in a punt. Then they get a field goal. They pick off Lamar Jackson, so well done. Able to set them up for 3 right before half. But then in half, 5-play, 14-yard drive ends in a punt. And look at this, 17-play, 87-yard, 7-minute drive that ends in a turnover on downs. You hate to see it. On Baltimore's 4th and goal, Dwayne Haskins passed short to the right, for 5 yards. They don't even trust him to get it into the end zone when it's 4th and goal. There's no first down to pick up, my man. You have to start airing this ball out a little bit more. Another interception, so well done by this Washington's defense. No Chase Young, so they had no pressure on Lamar Jackson, but he's still throwing interceptions. What is going on there? I think this was actually RG3. I think they did put him in. Yeah, Robert Griffin. Okay, so it wasn't Lamar Jackson. It's RG3 coming in for the interception, but still an interception nonetheless, so able to get a touchdown out of it. But realistically, the final score is 31-10. Blowout Ravens, how we all expected. Dwayne Haskins is still not able to kind of move the ball down the field all on his own, taking basically the entire team. So can't trust Dwayne Haskins. Yes, the stats are nice. 32 of 45, 314 yards, touchdown, interception. But when we look in the grand scheme of things, this final score is 31-10. Not competitive, not putting up a lot of points. And we start have to asking why. Torrey McLaurin, very well done, 100-yard receiver. Antonio Gibson, very good as well, 82 yards. But it doesn't translate to points. It's not translating to wins. Dwayne Haskins, I can't buy him just quite yet, y'all. We can't buy him. All right, let's look at Lamar Jackson really quickly. 14 of 21, 193 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. He also rushed for 53 yards and a touchdown. All of those rushing yards basically came on one play, the 50-yard touchdown run. So 3 extra yards on 6 other plays. He wasn't using his legs a lot, or it got shut down. One of the two, pretty much it got shut down. This is the 50-yard run. Right up the middle, clean, fast, and he scores. Very well done. So well done, Lamar Jackson, looking good. The feet are good. The arm is still good. No worries there. Ravens coming off that revenge loss, getting the win. We expected it, expected a blowout, and it happened. Alrighty, Rams, Giants. Rams only put up 17 points. I think that's the biggest takeaway. Yes, the Giants put up 9. They're getting field goals. I mean, teams drive, folks. Get over it. Teams are going to put up points. So, not a big knock there. Good job defensively to only allow 9 points. Yes, the Giants have no offense, but you still only give up 9. That's good. But only putting up 17 when you're at home against the Giants team's defense, that's very not good. 25 of 32 for only 200 yards. That's stinking dunk. I mean, we're not even talking about 10 yards of throw here. What is going on? Only 1 touchdown. I mean, when we look at these receivers, Cooper Kupp only 70 yards. Robert Woods, second leading receiver with only 35 yards. So, I mean, they just really couldn't move the ball, rushing or passing. Kind of strange, only putting up 17 points. We're not going to punish them too much by that. It's a little bit of a red flag just to kind of keep in mind that they only put up 17 here against the Giants. Not the best. A lot of punts by the Giants. Obviously, that's kind of what we expect. 3 and out. 5 plays that only go 7 yards. 3 and out. 13 play drive that ends in a field goal. Classic Giants. 8 plays that they have to punt it. Unfortunate. 11-yard play that once again 11 play drive that ends in another field goal. 4 and out. Turnover on downs. Interception. I mean, classic Giants drives we're talking about. But the Rams also punted a lot here. They fumbled. They punted. 3 and out. 15 play drive by the Rams that ends only in a field goal. 5 and out, 5 and out, 3 and out, 8 play drive that ends in a touchdown. That's the main difference. They were able to score a touchdown, and the Giants were not able to. So, all in all, I mean, sloppy game by both teams. Rams, a little bit of a red flag for only putting up 17 points. We'll look at Daniel Jones. What did he do? No touchdowns, 1 pick. That's exactly what we expect. 23 completions for only 190 yards. Dink and dunk. That's exactly what we expect. No running game. That's exactly what we expect. Giants are just not good. Giants are just not good. Alrighty, let's move on. Bills, Raiders. Oh my goodness, Josh Allen. I think I've been getting just caught up too much in that week one. Phillip Rivers throws 2 interceptions. Josh Allen fumbles the ball, both 2 times in that game. So I'm putting too much emphasis on week 1. I have to, now that we're in the kind of the week 4 heading into week 5, we've got that first quarter of the season out of the way. So now we have to kind of judge this as an entire whole. We have to judge these first 4 weeks as one big whole. And Josh Allen, magnificent game here, magnificent game last week, except the second half. But overall, Josh Allen's winning me over, and we have to give the Bills a little bit of credit for that. 24 of 34, 288 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. He didn't even fumble the ball either. So well done, Josh Allen. Really just from the rip. I mean, we're talking about first 2 drives, touchdowns. Third drive, field goal. They're scoring on basically all of their drives here. 3 drives in the first half, 3 scores. Very well done. They go up 17-3 at half. Now, they're still scoring in the second half. They get out to a little bit of a rough start. Only 9 play drive that ends in a punt, but then they come back touchdown. Then they come back touchdown again, and they are able to go up 30-16. They punt on their last drive. They get a fumble. Well done by their defense. They have to punt again. So fourth quarter scoring wasn't the greatest, but they were able to get, the fumble, kind of eat up more of the clock late in the fourth. You give up a garbage time touchdown. Really no big deal. You still win by 7. Still a respectable win. And Josh Allen played very well. Devin Singletary rushed for only 55 yards. Not the best, but Stephon Diggs is helping Josh Allen immensely. 115 yards. And then Cole Beasley in the slot. He had some great catches. Yes, it was only 3, but every catch was a big catch. He also caught a touchdown. So this offense, it's got pieces. Josh Allen is a fantastic quarterback, putting up the yards. He's not turning the ball over like he has been. So that's a huge, great sign for Josh Allen. And now we can finally buy into this Bills a little bit better here, going on the road against Vegas. We know their defense, the Vegas's defense isn't the best, but they still put up 30 on them, so very well done. Big on the Bills now. Got to start respecting them a little bit more because Josh Allen, he's not turning the ball over. That's our one red flag on him, and he's putting up some great yards, some great performances, and not turning the ball over. We can finally endorse you. Big time. All right, let's check out Derek Carr, 32 of 44, 311 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Very well done. He did fumble the ball. Darren Waller also fumbled the ball and lost it. I mean, that was their big name when, week number 2, when the Raiders, officially were kind of on the map for some people. It was because Darren Waller just absolutely went off. We knew Bill Belichick would shut him down. They did, and the Bills did as well. Not really. 88 yards, no touchdowns though. But once again, they are just still feeding Darren Waller. Raiders maybe falling into that same trap the Saints and Cardinals have been doing, just getting one person involved over and over and over again, and we can only win if they have good games, and we can't spread the ball around. So we'll see if the Raiders still try to go to Darren Waller. Last week they tried to go to him. New England shuts him down. They lose. Here they go to him. But they get outscored. Darren Waller can't put up any points for them himself, and they lose because of that. So hopefully Raiders don't fall in that same trap that Cardinals are seemingly dying in, and the Saints have been seemingly clawing their way out of that, of only focusing on one way to win with only one player. And then the final game of the night, Eagles, Niners. Eagles finally get their first win, and I believe they're first in the NFC East now because of this. Can you imagine a 1-2-1 team is the first seed in the NFC East? What is going on there? Dallas, I mean, we all expected them to be the best team in that division, and they are absolutely not good. And Washington was number 1 until the Eagles tied last week. So Eagles first in the division. They've got a new kind of perspective. They have a new lease on the season. They control their own destiny here on out, but they are still not looking the best. They only won this game because Carson Wentz didn't turn the ball over as much as the 49ers did. Wentz, we've been kind of normalizing his 2 interception games. He only throws 1 this game, and it proved to be the difference. Carson Wentz, 18 of 28, 193 yards, a touchdown, a pick. Not great, not horrible, not great, but still all right, I guess. Maybe slightly below all right, not throwing for 200 yards. What are we doing? Miles Sanders didn't even have a great game. 46 yards. He averaged 3.5 yards a carry. Carson Wentz rushed for 37 yards for some odd reason. Why are you doing that? But I mean, the receivers, the top receiver was 57 yards receiving. So they weren't doing anything. Their defense was good. That made short fields for the Eagles to really capitalize, because when we look at the turnovers for the 49ers, Eagles only had 1. And that was the Carson Wentz interception. But when we look at the 49ers, Nick Mullins, 2 interceptions, and he fumbled the ball. So we're talking about 3 turnovers. And now let's look at all the points the Eagles scored off of them. They didn't start until the second half. The first interception resulted in a punt, so Nick Mullins got away with one there. Fumble leads to a touchdown. Interception, pick 6. That's 14 points off turnovers. When you guys really were in control of the game up until that point, Nick Mullins really went and lost you that game in the fourth quarter. Truly unfortunate. Before those turnovers, Eagles were actually down 14-11. Then the fumble hits, return it for a touchdown, or they answer with a touchdown, short field. They only had to go 37 yards. Giving Carson Wentz a short field definitely helps them. And then the pick 6, obviously, Carson Wentz doesn't even need to be on the field for that. So well done by the Eagles defense to force some turnovers from a backup quarterback in Nick Mullins, who he had a good game up until that point. He had a game manager game, 18 of 26, 200 yards, touchdown, 2 picks, but those fumbles, those interceptions really do kill you, especially when you escape that first interception with giving up no points. That's fantastic, but then you try to do it too much, and then you start doing it in the fourth quarter, and then the Eagles are like, hang on, we're not going to blow any more chances, and not scoring off turnover. So that's basically what this game came down to, turnovers. Carson Wentz didn't turn the ball over, and the Eagles were able to capitalize and cash in 14 points on 3 turnovers. They only score 9 points when they're not getting the ball because of a turnover. So 49ers definitely could have won the game. They tried to switch in C.J. Beathard at the end of the game. Didn't really work out too well for them. They were able to score a touchdown, I believe, with him. Nice little touchdown drive because of C.J. Beathard leading his way down the field. So well done to him. But overall, I mean, the 49ers are going to be fine when Mostard and Garoppolo come back, and when you get Richard Sherman back defensively. So they're still going to be good. We're not going to be falling too much on the 49ers. We are still going to be continuing to fall a little bit on the Eagles a little bit. The good news is for Eagles fans is that Carson Wentz cleaned up the interceptions a little bit. He still threw one, but hey, the interception doesn't go for any points. We can kind of live with it. Just don't keep doing it. But their defense really coming alive in the fourth quarter, keeping them in the game and really taking advantage and getting the win because of those turnovers. Now, the one red flag I do want to point out with the 49ers, and this is probably just because, Nick Mullins is a backup quarterback, but they're targeting their tight end a little too much. George Kittle, leading receiver for the squad, 15 receptions for 183 yards. He was targeted 15 times. He caught them all, so well done there. But your leading receiver is a tight end. Your second leading receiver is a running back. That's recipe for not sustainability. I will say that. Your third leading receiver was an actual wide receiver with 3 receptions and 3 targets for 35 yards. So you can't have a tight end and running back be your top 2 receivers. This could just be because Nick Mullins is the backup, doesn't feel comfortable airing it out to his receivers. Definitely could be. And it also almost helped them win the game. I'm not saying, you can't win games doing this, but it's not sustainable. You can't keep doing this. Darren Waller, I mean, that's suspect number 1, the Raiders, trying to feed their tight end over and over and over and over and over and over again, having him being the leading receiver, and it's not working out so well these last 2 weeks. So 49ers, just don't fall in love with that. It's fun to do. It's it's great to do. It's kind of easy to do sometimes. Obviously, I mean, you don't just catch 15 receptions for 183 yards when you're getting locked up. You know what I mean? So George Kittle, very great game. Just 49ers don't fall in love with that. I don't think they do. It's just something that we should be aware of. Alrighty, that's just the quick rundown of this week. What happened yesterday in the NFL? We do have 2 games. I mean, honestly, this whole COVID thing, we had no updates today. I had no updates to go over. Let's see if anything broke in the last hour and a half. But we haven't heard anything about any COVID positive cases, so that's a huge, great sign. I mean, I don't see anybody even talking about it. I mean, if you just went on Twitter today, you would just be like, oh, COVID never even happened, because nobody's talking about it, so that's a good sign. Nobody's getting positive cases. Remember, on, what was it, Friday, everybody was like, oh, the sky's falling, the league's going to be canceled, the season's over. Let's all relax a little bit, y'all. Nothing's bad's happened. We've had some comparable cases with the MLB early on in that season, positive cases coming out, teams having to postpone and cancel games, but now they're in the playoffs, y'all. Everything is going to be fine. Knock on wood, obviously. We have to knock on wood saying that, but let's all take a deep breath. Nothing bad happened. This Monday Night Football game is going to be played because of it. Yes, we don't get Cam Newton, but we still get the game. We still need the game, and really no team should be reliant on one person. I get it. It's the quarterback, and it's the main position, and blah, blah, blah. I get it, folks. But still, I mean, the team's no one person is above the team, so we're still getting football on tonight. This game is good to go. Patriots Chiefs gonna be good to go. Got moved from Sunday to Monday. One day later. We don't get Cam Newton. Yeah, that sucks, but we still get the game played. We still get to see, maybe now this win for the Patriots would be even better if Bill Belichick can just be like, all right, Stidham, he's in. He should have been. He was gonna be our quarterback anyway this season. We knew we could win with them. So, I mean, this adds another good storyline that could, we don't get the Cam Newton versus Patrick Mahomes, but we still get Bill Belichick versus Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. And if the Patriots pull off the upset, I mean, this is going to be a great narrative for the rest of the week, y'all. Don't get me wrong. So, let's all relax on the COVID. Patriots Chiefs tonight. Let's see what this official line is. We'll do our moneymaker. 2 games on tonight. How great is that? Patriots Chiefs starting at 7:05 on CBS, and Falcons Packers starting at 8:50 on ESPN. So we can dual box some football tonight, y'all. That's going to be very, very fun. I'll be doing that. One on the TV, one on the laptop, watching them both simultaneously to break them down tomorrow. But let's do our moneymaker for today. We got 2 games on tonight, so we can have a nice little moneymaker tonight, y'all. Alrighty, Patriots plus 10.5 against the Chiefs. This game went from plus 6.5, plus 7 with Cam Newton to plus 10.5, plus 11. I think it was yesterday. I think it fell a little bit without Cam Newton. So yes, Vegas is valuing Cam Newton very, very high. 4 point. He's a 4-point player. Not a lot of those in the league, y'all. I'm telling y'all. So Chiefs at home. Patriots, not their main quarterback, so I think their offense is going to run a little bit differently. Plus, Sony Michel is not in. That is huge as well. He really sets up the tone for the offense with Cam Newton, but with Jarrett Stidham, I believe is going to be starting over Brian Hoyer. Not 100%, but I would assume Stidham because in the offseason, Stidham pretty much was the starting quarterback before they signed Cam. So I'm expecting Stidham to start here. The offense is going to run a little bit differently. I don't expect them to run a lot of read option and a lot of trick plays. This is going to be a methodical. We'll try to run the ball with Rex Burkhead, but with Sony Michel out, you're not going to get that explosive runner. So they'll try to run the ball with Rex Burkhead, just game manager Stidham. I don't expect any read option. I expect a lot of dink and dunk, a lot of in the backfield, getting the balls out to their playmakers. But we have to go Chiefs minus 10.5 here, unfortunately. Sony Michel, Cam Newton, both out for the Patriots. That's huge, huge, huge for them. Chiefs, I think the Patriots defense will be able to hold them a little bit, but I just don't see this Patriots offense scoring a lot, unfortunately, with your two best players out. Unfortunate. You have to kind of change up that entire offense now that Cam Newton's in, or now that Cam Newton's out. You can't read that run option and, just kind of the fake play actions, him keeping the ball. So we got to go Chiefs minus 10.5 here. Can't trust. Do we just take the points? I mean, because I trust Bill Belichick to have a decent defensive plan to stop Mahomes, but I just don't see the Patriots putting up a lot of points here. It's unfortunate, but I think we have to ride the minus 10.5. We have to swallow the points, unfortunately. I just cannot see the Patriots putting up a lot of points here offensively. Two of your top two offensive weapons are out, Cam Newton, Sony Michel, and I think you have to kind of switch up the entire offense now that Cam Newton's not in. Bring in Stidham, can't run the read option a lot. We'll go Chiefs minus 10.5. And then Green Bay, Atlanta, it is now under 7. I believe it was hovering around that 7 mark pretty much the entire week. Packers minus 6. We know Dan Quinn is coaching for his life. He is on the hot seat, in my opinion. A loss here or a non-competitive win or a non-competitive game or a blown lead loss for the Falcons could really send Dan Quinn out the door on Tuesday, I believe. No Devontae Adams, no Lazard. Packers have to find another way to win. We know Aaron Rodgers can do that. I think on primetime television, I'm going to pick the 6 just one more time. I'm going to trust the Falcons one more time, give them one more shot. I don't think they continue blowing leads. I still very, very much like this Atlanta offense. They just need to kind of clean up that second half, closing out games. Hopefully Dan Quinn can do it. I'm not doubting Aaron Rodgers finding another receiver, but I think this Atlanta offense can keep up with the Packers a little bit. We'll go Atlanta here in a absolute must win or must be competitive game for Atlanta. We'll take the 6. So we're going to take Chiefs minus 10.5, Falcons plus 6. Yes, there's a way that the Patriots cover, but I think the smartest, safest decision is just swallow those 10 points for the Chiefs. And this is going to be our 2-teamer moneymaker for today. Alrighty, tomorrow on the show we will update our cash and trash list for the NFL. Some good names we can put on the cash list, some good performances. We also will update our power rankings. This is currently our power rankings going into this week. Bills at 10, Bucks at 9, Titans at 8, Rams at 7, Ravens at 6, Patriots at 5. Pittsburgh at 4, Green Bay at 3, Chiefs at 2, and Seahawks at 1. Now, we can't really move Titans and Pittsburgh this week because they didn't play. Patriots, Green Bay play tonight, so maybe a couple of shifts will happen depending on tonight's game, as well as the Chiefs. So, I mean, some shifts could happen. We can't judge this Patriots loss if they do lose too much because, Cam and Sony Michel are not playing, but we will still reflect it if they lose and move them back as needed. So we'll see how the power rankings shift out tomorrow when we unveil those. So we'll be back here tomorrow, noon Eastern, twitch.tv/takesbyfans or takesbyfans.com. Come and watch, and we'll do we'll cover the Monday Night Football games, get us ready for Lakers Heat Game 4, and update the cash and trash list for the NFL, and reveal our new power rankings for Week 5. Alrighty, y'all. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for watching, and we will be back tomorrow, noon Eastern.